Imagine stepping into a world where unseen monsters can drive you to madness and death with just a glance. Now, imagine living in that nightmare day after day for months, completely blindfolded. For Sandra Bullock, this wasn't just her character's life in Bird Box, it became her reality during filming. And the impact on her mental health was devastating. Bullock, the queen of Hollywood hits like The Blind Side and Miss Congeniality, took on one of her darkest and most emotionally grueling roles in Netflix's 2018 post-apocalyptic thriller, Bird Box. But behind the scenes, this Oscar-winning actress battled frustration, anger, and an overwhelming sense of fear as the role began to chip away at her well-being. In her own words, she revealed, "It made me angry and frustrated and fearful." Those emotions didn't just fade when the cameras stopped rolling, they lingered, leaving a mark on her mental health that she may never fully shake off. So, what exactly happened during the making of Bird Box that left Bullock reeling? Let's break it down. Hello everyone and welcome back to Masterpiece. Today we're diving into Sandra Bullock's intense journey through mental health challenges caused by her iconic role in Bird Box. Whether you're a longtime subscriber or this is your first time here, I'm thrilled to have you join me. In this video, we'll be exploring the hidden struggles behind her performance and the toll it took on her mental well-being. In Bird Box, Bullock plays Mallory Hayes, a fiercely protective mother navigating a world overrun by supernatural entities that cause people to commit suicide upon seeing them. To survive, Mallory and her children must remain blindfolded, a creative decision that became a nightmare for Bullock. When asked about filming Blindfolded, Bullock admitted she underestimated the challenge. "I read the script and thought, this is going to be great visually. But once the cameras rolled, she realized one of her most powerful acting tools, her eyes, was completely off limits." She said, "I realized how much I relied on my eyes to tell a story in film. The result was a cocktail of anger, frustration, and fear bubbling beneath the surface. Instead of suppressing these feelings, Bullock channeled them into her performance, but using those raw emotions on screen came at a cost. By the time production wrapped, the mental toll was undeniable."
A lot of acting is hitting marks, and I'm curious about like the blindfold element of it and how you knew where you were. Did you bump into things? Did you ever bump into the camera? Did you bump into other people? I'm wondering how that was as actors to film in blindfolds.
Stop. Just answer the question.
This is your question.
Why is you
This
have a
is your
blindfold?
question.
Yes, all of the above. Running, but we had an incredible
Did you go face into the camera?
several times. Third time, yes, was the charm. That one drew the blood.
What was you were bleeding?
Yeah.
Third time was a
Had a
charm.
puncture wound.
Can I ask what shot that was?
It was me climbing up the ravine after I rolled down, and I rehearsed it blindfolded. I figured out where the cameras was. And then I went to English class, and then the camera was moved slightly, and when it wasn't the camera, it was the
thing on the thing.
Steadicam or?
No, it was the mat box. The mat
Okay.
box. And it's when I take off, I'm find the belt and I take off running, and in the takeoff the camera had been moved and I impaled my face and.
Oh my God.
But you know but otherwise it was fine. We had a Steadicam operator that knew to get out of our way because we would turn directions. There was no, as long as we stayed within frame, there really were no marks unless we were kneeling on the ground and then you didn't have to move. So he learned to navigate with us. If we would turn and go different direction, I said if I hit a branch, leave it. If I hit a tree, if I stumble, we just sort of left it because then you feel it.
The film's premise isn't just terrifying, it's emotionally draining. Imagine spending months pretending to protect children from invisible killers while constantly blindfolded and under immense pressure to deliver a riveting performance. For Bullock, the blindfold wasn't just a physical prop, it became a psychological burden. Losing her sight for extended periods threw her off balance, literally and figuratively. The actress confessed that the constant disorientation and inability to see her surroundings heightened her anxiety and pushed her out of her comfort zone. The strain of the role also bled into her personal life. As a mother of two, Bullock found herself drawing parallels between her real-life fears and Mallory's fictional ones. The actress revealed that her own monsters are the paparazzi who stalk her and her children. The kids are very afraid of them, she shared, adding that the constant pressure to shield her kids from invasive photographers only added to her stress.
That's Sandra Bullock in the Bird Box.
With the incredible Sarah Paulson.
With the incredible Sarah Paulson, who doesn't make it too long in this movie. That was
Nor
it.
should you ever drive with Sarah Paulson, is obviously what this is.
Yeah, she's a bad driver.
Terrible.
It's really good. It's an interesting concept. Explain what it is.
Well, it's sort of a psychological thriller paired with a really deep emotional love story about what is family, you know, and what's happening in the world, what's making people harm themselves. It's so hard to look at. When you see this thing, you harm yourself. You see your worst fears and you kill yourself. So you cannot see, you're blindfolded. So we shot half the movie blindfolded, which was funny. And it's about, I mean, to me, it's a story about what you would do for your family. And your family isn't always what you're told your family is, and it's how people come together.
Yeah, it's really good, and it's who's the guy that plays
Trevante Rhodes.
He's fantastic.
I don't know if you saw Moonlight. He is divine, not just as an actor, but as a human being. He is the most wonderful human being I think I've ever met.
Oh, that's great. He's really great. And then the kids are adorable.
Yeah, Julian and Vivian.
And so, okay, so you're blindfolded for most of this. You're actually having to row.
Yeah. You don't do it like this though.
You don't?
No, that's skiing. That's like.
Oh.
Yeah. Or like a.
I'm thinking of another movie.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Speed.
Yes, I was thinking about that.
Yeah.
No, but you had to row.
There you go.
Like that way.
Yeah,
sideways.
that way.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So you had to row.
I had to row.
Blindfolded. Yeah. And then you fell in the water.
Yes.
And it was freezing, I bet.
Freezing cold, and then you have to climb up hills, and you have to navigate trees blindfolded, and.
And did you run into things?
Yes, I did. I ran into the camera. I ran into the camera a couple times.
Did you?
I did.
Nobody stopped you and
Well-
said you're close to the camera?
We had a Steadicam operator, and it's sort of like on this hydraulic thing, and he would pull it out of the way most of the time. But sometimes I would just turn and run into another direction, and I was just so fast. And I'd clip the camera.
And then you were holding these kids, so
Yeah.
did you knock them into things?
No, that's where anytime I had the kids and I had to run, I had them eliminate one layer of the blindfold so I could see outlines. I knew where I was going, but I always had them hooked onto me a certain way, and I never did anything to harm the children.
Yeah, good. Because, and I know how much, you're so sweet, and when you were yelling at them, I just thought that must have been so hard to yell at those kids.
Actually, it was really easy.
Why is that?
Because you never let yourself get to that place unless you're really scared. If your child runs out into the street, you don't go, get back here. You go, what are you doing? Get over here. But you don't get to that place because there's usually people watching. So you're like, get back here. So you've got to be those things that you aren't allowed to be when you're really, really scared.
Bullock's portrayal of Mallory Hayes was lauded for its authenticity, and it's no surprise why. She wasn't just acting, she was living it. As a mother to Lewis and Layla, Bullock could deeply relate to Mallory's determination to protect her children at all costs. In one particularly harrowing scene, Mallory blindly navigates a dangerous river with 2 young children in tow, battling both external threats and her own fears. Bullock later revealed that working with child actors Vivian Lyra Blair and Julian Edwards added another layer of emotional weight. She explained, "We had to do things where I had to jump in the water and pull them out. Despite ensuring the children felt safe, their reactions to loud noises and frightening scenes were often too real." She admitted, "When you see their faces after a loud noise or a fright, you know they weren't acting." While Bullock managed to avoid traumatizing her young co-stars, the same couldn't be said for herself. Immersing so deeply in Mallory's fear and desperation took a toll on her mental health, amplifying her own anxieties about motherhood and safety.
I can be creative, I can be part of a community, but right now, work in front of the camera needs to take a pause.
For how long?
I don't know. Until I don't feel like I feel now when I'm in front of a camera.
Which is?
I want to be at home. I'm not doing anyone any favors who's investing in a project if I'm saying I just want to be at home. Because I was always running. I was always running to the next thing. I just want to be present and responsible for one thing.
So you knew shooting this movie,
Yeah.
this is going to be the last one for a while.
Yeah. And I don't know what a while is. I don't know what that is.
The emotional scars from Bird Box weren't something Bullock could shake off easily. In the years following the film's release, the actress made the surprising decision to step back from acting. In an interview, she explained her choice: "I want to be at home. I'd rather look at my kids every day and have them be mad at me and annoyed and make memories with them for right now." Bullock also shared that her break from Hollywood was indefinite, driven by a desire to prioritize her mental health and family. The decision wasn't just about spending time with her kids, it was about healing. Bird Box had pushed Bullock to her limits, forcing her to confront fears and emotions she hadn't fully processed. Taking a step back allowed her to recalibrate and find peace after the chaos of filming.
So how hard was it being a mom in this movie and the things you have to say to these kids?
Yeah.
Like, we know it's acting. We know you're shooting, but you are literally grabbing these kids and saying, you're going to die. I was like, whoa.
It's easy to go there as a mom. You ask any mother, and it's not an easy place to stay when you have to stay there for 15
Right.
hours a day and imagine family dying, your children dying, or your love of your life dying. But by the time I went home, at the end of the day, I was so grateful that I didn't have to think those horrible thoughts that I think every day as a mother in general out of fear. It was cathartic. I purged them. I got to go home. I think my kids liked me better because I wasn't so scared and militant and fearful. I'm back now. I'm back to that person. But you're in this day and age.
House for dinner.
Well, it's just, you, as a mom, you think those thoughts, it's just a part of your makeup. It's a part of your makeup. And I have 2 children that are African American, and I have to have conversations with them that millions of parents do, but I have to balance it with, here's ugly truth, and here's the beauty truth. The beauty truth you're not going to see on TV because nobody wants to talk about how good people are and how kind and how open-hearted they are. So I was able to take all my fears and just, I didn't, onto Trey, and had someone there who was there to hold you up. And so every mom will look at this and go, that river is my journey as a parent.
Bird Box may have been a global phenomenon, watched by 45 million Netflix accounts in its first 7 days, but for Bullock, it was a stark reminder of the mental health challenges actors can face. The film's success came with a hefty price tag for Bullock, who had to sacrifice her peace of mind to bring Mallory Hayes to life. While the actress channeled her frustrations into an unforgettable performance, the lingering effects of the role serve as a cautionary tale about the psychological demands of acting. Bullock herself summed it up best when she said, "It made me angry and frustrated and fearful." Those emotions didn't just fuel her performance, they left a lasting impact, reminding us all that even Hollywood's brightest stars aren't immune to the dark side of their craft. Sandra Bullock's role in Bird Box was a triumph of storytelling, but it came at a cost she'll carry forever. From the frustration of working blindfolded to the emotional strain of portraying a desperate mother, the experience pushed her to her limits, both as an actress and as a person. As Bullock's incredible performance was celebrated, let's also acknowledge the price she paid to deliver it. Her story is a powerful reminder that mental health matters, even in the glittering world of Hollywood. And for Bullock, stepping back from the spotlight was the ultimate act of self-care, a decision we can all learn from. And there you have it. I hope you found this video helpful and learned something new. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more content like this. Don't forget to hit that notification bell to stay updated. If you have any questions or topics you'd like me to cover next, make sure to drop them in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.